לב אל לב נפתח ונראה את האור שבשמיים יחד. לב אל לב נפתח בתקווה אהבה. 1, 2, איך שהלב נפתח חורק את העולם ובקריאה גדולה תשיר לאהבה. Come on, sing.
אמרו הכל אפשר, זה לא מאוחר, השחר כבר עלה, זמן לאהבה. יחד לב אל לב נפתח ונראה את האור שבשמיים. יחד לב אל לב נפתח בתקווה לאהבה.
ורק אם נאמין ובלי שום דאווין בדרך העולם זה שיר לאהבה. Your voices, come on, la 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 la. Get your hands up, come on. La 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 la. יחד לב אל לב נפתח ונראה את האור שבשמיים. יחד לב אל לב נפתח בתקווה לאהבה. תודה רבה. Thank you very much, everyone. Chag Sameach, everyone, and welcome to the second annual Yom Ha'atzmaut Across North America concert. We are Hadar and Sheldon from New York City, and we are so excited to celebrate Israel's 73rd birthday together, Beyachad, with so many of you.
We have a really special concert for you today with amazing music, special guests, and most importantly, all of you. We're also proud to be supporting the hunger relief efforts of Mazon. And we're going to be sharing this link throughout the broadcast. So if you'd like to make a personal donation. You know, love.
Yes, my love.
If there's one thing we've learned about community in this pandemic, it's that we don't have to be in the same physical space to feel one another's presence. So first, thank you all for these wonderful comments that are pouring in.
Yes, thank you. This is so awesome. Thank you.
We would like to respond to each of them, but it's really up to us to keep this show moving forward. So just keep them coming throughout the concert for us. The other artists and we will see them. You'll each see them. All of you will see them. If you haven't yet, tell us where you're tuning in from, who you're watching with, and maybe what Israeli song you hope to hear today.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that is a great idea. In fact, while we wait for your answers to come in the chat, we did ask our friends at Temple Israel of the city of New York that exact question. And, well, this is what they said.
This is Rabbi David Galfan of Temple Israel of the city of New York. My favorite Israeli song is Yehiyeh Tov.
My name is Rabbi Melissa Beyer-Whitman, and my favorite Israeli song is Shir Le'ahava, better known as Yachad, performed by Gaia.
I'm Cantor Irena Altsho, and here's one of my favorite Israeli songs. אין לי ארץ אחרת, גם אם אדמתי בוערת.
Hi, I'm Lisa Samick, Director of Early Childhood and Family Engagement, and my favorite Israeli song is Yareach by Shlomo Artzi.
My name is Kadia Kane, the ETLC Department Coordinator, and my favorite Israeli song is Toy by Netta.
Hi, I'm Rabbi David Reinhardt, and my favorite Israeli song is Al Kol Ele by Naomi Shemer.
Happy birthday, Israel, on Israel's 73rd birthday. Yom Ha'atzmaut Sameach. Blessings, greetings, shalom.
Thank you, Temple Israel, for your generous support and for that amazing video. Before we go live to Seattle with the incredible Chava Morel and her band, we are proud to welcome our friend, cantorial student David Fair in Evanston, Illinois, to lead us in Hatikva.
Kol od balev av penima, nefesh Yehudi homia, ulafate mizrach kadima, ein Letzion Sophia, od lo avda tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.
We are now honored to hear some opening remarks from our friends in the Israeli consulate.
Shalom, everybody, from the Israeli Consulate to the Midwest based in Chicago. I would like to wish all of you Happy Independence Day, Yom Ha'atzmaut Sameach, and thank you for celebrating with us. These are unique times, and unfortunately we cannot gather in person like we used to do with thousands of friends and allies celebrating the Independence Day of the Jewish state. But we want to remain optimistic, and as Israelis, we always try to count our blessings. So let's try to do it together. My wife, myself, and our family are finishing our assignment here this summer, and it was a true honor and a pleasure to serve as Israel's liaison to the Midwest between so many friendly supporters and champions for their relationship. So we look forward to seeing all of you in Israel, and we're going to have a non-stop flight coming from Israel to the Midwest through O'Hare and back, hopefully COVID permitting very soon. We look forward to hosting all of you in Israel. Thank you very much, and shalom.
That was really special. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So it goes without saying that Sheldon and I believe in bringing people together through music. How amazing to have an entire continent at one event. And equally exciting is that today we get to share the stage with some of our favorite artists, despite being thousands of miles apart.
Yep.
If you don't know Chava Morel, you are in for a spectacular treat.
Yeah. And I get to introduce her.
Yes, you do.
Chava Morel is a nationally touring, newly minted Grammy Award-winning vocalist, a guitarist, composer, recording artist, spiritual leader, and activist. Performing in folk, world music, jazz, and other genres, she imbues her music with the universal themes of hope, caring, connection, inclusion, women's, and environmental issues.
Amazing.
Chava is highly sought after for her collaborations and recordings, and she is known for her rich, luxurious vocals, lush harmonies, and rhythmic phrasing. From electrifying concerts to engaging educational sessions to inimitable spiritual experiences, she connects to community with love and compassion. You are in for a very special performance.
Live from Seattle, please welcome our dear friend, Chava Morel.
Woo! Hey everyone! So grateful to be celebrating Yom Ha'atzmaut across North America with you! Come on now, we're gonna dance to this one. So get up out of your seat and join us. Woo! got to kick it out with that rockin' tune from when I was a kid. I remember dancing to that at camp. You might remember that too. Josh, hey.
Hey, Chava.
This is so fun. Hey, who's joining us here today?
Looks like we got the chat open. I got to see people from Pittsburgh, from Poughkeepsie, New Jersey, Chicago, Miami, literally the whole country.
Ellen Allard, you're here? Oh my gosh.
Hey, Ellen. Great to see you all.
Oh, what an honor it is to join you here from Seattle with the best band on earth. Josh and I are so excited to bring some of the Israeli songs that impacted us through our childhood when we were growing up, things that came overseas and reached us here in the States. So let's start with this one. You might remember this tune. If you do, sing along with us. Tzena, 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 havanot turena chayalim b'moshava. Alna, 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 titchapena mi ben chayil v'shava. Tzena, tzena, havanot turena chayalim b'moshava. Coveted album in your home in the 1970s. And that album was the Hasidic Song Festival. Adon Olam, Asher Malah, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasar, V'chefso Kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei ki klotako levato yimlok no rabe hu ayabe hu obebe hu yebe tipara dono lama shimala terem ko yitziri valley the sabe khasako time election moni kra yakare ki klotako levato yimlok no rabe hu ayabe hu obe tipara hu ayabe hu obe tipara hu ayabe hu obe tipara hu ayabe hu obe We got this from a Nina Simone cover. Come on, y'all, here we go. Chad, Stein, Shalosh, Arba. Chalav udvash. Chalav udvash. Chalav udvash. Chalav udvash. Eretz chalav udvash. Chalav, chalav udvash. Eretz samad. Chalav, chalav, chalav udvash. Chalav udvash. Chalav udvash. Chalav udvash. Chalav udvash. Eretz samad. Chalav, chalav, chalav udvash. Eretz samad. Chalav, samad, chalav udvash. 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 Oh, yeah, amazing. We're going to take a deep breath here. I want to introduce the band. So, right here, I got my friend Josh Niehaus on the guitar and the vocals. Woo. My friend Jeff Bush over here on the drums. My right-hand man, Dean Schmidt on the bass. We got Joe Doria on the organ. And Brian Monroney back here on the electric guitar.
And of course, we got Chava Morel here on vocals and guitar.
We're gonna sing for peace. Hey, hey, oh, yeah, oh. Here we go now. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ve'alula avoshavon, yeah. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom leolam. Salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, shalom, yeah. Salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, shalom, Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ve'alula avoshavon, yeah. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom leolam. Salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, shalom, salam aleinu ve'akol haolam. Salam, shalom. song that influenced me and so many composers in our generations. The song was written by a woman in her 20s over 50 years ago, and it became the soundtrack for our longing for peace around the world. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru amen. And may we you so much for joining us. Let's send it back to Sheldon and Hadar. Woo!
Thank you, Chava. That was amazing. Oh my God, as
Always
always,
brings it.
always amazing. If you enjoyed that, please send Chava even more love through the chat feature. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Chava. You are a queen. Yom HaAtzmaut across North America was born in the pandemic and was meant not only as a celebration of Israel, but also to be a force for good in the name of Israel. Last year, with your help, we raised $12,000 for IsraAid and Feeding America.
Amazing.
And this year, we are proud to be donating all proceeds after expenses to Mazon. One of the reasons Mazon is such a perfect fit for Yom HaAtzmaut across North America is because they provide hunger relief to Jews and non-Jews in both North America and in Israel. Food insecurity continues to be exacerbated by the pandemic, so please consider making a personal contribution using the links on the screen.
To tell you more about the wonderful work they do, please welcome Mazon.
Before the pandemic, there were about 37 million people in the United States who were defined as food insecure. At this moment in time, we are getting close to 80 million people. So what the founders of Mazon wanted to communicate was that the Jewish community had a commitment to social justice and food justice for all people, regardless of their faith. This is a country of inclusion. It is a country of justice. It's a country of fairness, but not for everybody. Our role as a people is we take a moment and reflect on what could be better. And until that is true for everybody, we just have to keep working.
Hi, I'm Liz Kantor-Groskin, and I'm the board chair of Mazon, a Jewish Response to Hunger. And we are so honored and appreciative to be a part of Yom HaAtzmaut across America. This is so exciting. We look forward to a time when we can all be together, but in the meantime, we are so appreciative to be the beneficiary of this year's concert's proceeds, and we know that together we can end hunger and injustice across America. It just takes some heart, some hard work, and passion, and we know you all have that. Shalom, lehitraot.
Thank you, Mazon, for all the wonderful work that you do. You know, one of my favorite parts of last year's show was getting to debut a music video for The Hope by Rick Recht, featuring a huge cohort of our talented Jewish music friends and colleagues.
Yeah, I mean, that was so awesome.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, this year, thanks to our good friend and colleague from Tel Aviv, Shimon Smith, we're thrilled to debut another new music video featuring not only some of the most well-known faces in North American Jewish music, but also some of Israel's most talented Jewish musicians.
This is Avinu Shebashamayim by Shimon Smith.
אבינו שבשמיים, אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל, וגואלו.
Wherever I go, wherever I roam, I always know I have a home.
If I'm lost, Na na nine nine nine. Na na nine nine nine.
I'm Chaim Goldstein from Hamilton, Ontario. My favorite Israeli food is falafel.
My name is Laura Fell. I'm from Temple Sinai, Pittsburgh, PA. My favorite Israeli food is the falafel.
I'm David Schwartz, co-president with Sam from the Israel Center of Conservative Judaism in Queens. My favorite, I'll say, Israeli food is just give me good falafel or good schnitzel.
Hi, I'm Sam. I live in Pahoa, Hawaii. My favorite Israeli food is falafel.
I'm Eli from Rockville, Maryland. My favorite Israeli food is maraq.
מה אתה חייבת לאכול?
המבורגר ופרק.
My name is Bobby Mukamala. My favorite food in Israel is hummus with pita bread and all the fixins.
Hi, my name is Sherry Bell, and I'm one of the two co-presidents of the Women's Club at Har Sinai Oheb Shalom Congregation in Baltimore, Maryland. My favorite Israeli food is chatzilim, eggplant salad.
Lynn Harand in Flint, Michigan, and my favorite Israeli foods are in my favorite Israeli place, Levinsky Market.
I'm Marcy Yellen. And this is Jacob. And we are from Swampscott, Massachusetts. And our favorite food, falafel, and I love shawarma.
I'm Sam Weiss, the co-president with David Schwartz here at Israel Center of Conservative Judaism. My favorite food would be hummus and Israeli salad.
Hello, my name is Chaim Wenger. I live in Anchorage, Alaska. My favorite Israeli food is, of course, the baklava.
Hi, I'm Susan Lowe.
And I'm Stephen Lowe, and we're from Flint, Michigan. My favorite food is the chocolate rugelach that you get at Machana Yehuda.
And my favorite food is sabich.
I'm Anita Platt. I live in Plantation, Florida. My favorite Israeli food is falafel.
We are Pam and Brian Dettelbach. We are now retired in Stanton, Virginia, and attend the Temple House of Israel.
My favorite Israeli food is fresh dates.
My favorite Israeli food is falafel. Yum!
Hi everyone, my name is Aviva. I'm at HSOSC in Baltimore, Maryland. My favorite Israeli food is shawarma.
Hello, my name is Eric Rosen. I am privileged to serve as the rabbi at Neve Shalom in Metuchen, New Jersey. From barekas to shawarma to falafel, that just don't taste the same anywhere else in the world.
ומה אתה הכי אוהב לאכול?
פנקייק, זה ברור.
Thank you so much, Shimon, and to all of our Jewish music colleagues around the world who contributed to that amazing music video. And thanks to all of you who submitted videos on your favorite Israeli food.
Yep.
That is one of my favorite additions to this year's performance. I
course
saw
it is.
hummus came up in the comments. If you put that, you're correct. You know that's my favorite, specifically the masabacha from Abu Hassan.
No argument about that.
But if you have a different favorite food and you didn't already put it in the comments, go for it now.
And as you're doing that, I would like to share a personal story about my dad, Avner Shalimi, who was one of the officers to lead his troops into the old city of Jerusalem and the Western Wall during the Six-Day War in 1967. My dad had finished his active duty just 3 weeks before the war broke out, but he was called right back to the front line, commanding a new group of soldiers he had never met before. Now, picture the city under, as he says, the fog of war. There's gunfire, explosions, and in the middle of all this chaos, a rumor that an Israeli soldier with the last name of Yerushalmi, which is similar to Shalimi, had been killed, and this rumor reached my grandparents, who at the time were sheltering in their home in Jerusalem. Now, there's no cell phones, no public transportation. But the love of a father for his son leads my grandpa, Saba Yedidia, to leave the safety of his home on foot in the middle of a war to try and find his son. Now, in a minute, I'm going to let my dad tell this amazing story in his own words. But aside from loving the story so much, I wanted to share it with you because to me it is so quintessentially Israeli. You know, there's this active war and just all the horrors that accompany war. And in the midst of this terrifying scene, there is this purest expression of love of family, love of a father to his son that pretty much overcomes anything else. And that is what I want you to focus on as you listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to dedicate this moment to the best dad I could ever ask for, who taught me how to love wholeheartedly and unconditionally. This is Avner Urshalimi.
We managed to put a unit together of few armors, I would say about 25 soldiers, which I don't know very well, because it was a unit that was created from pieces from each unit that weren't really organic part of different units, and I hardly knew the names of the soldiers. And we were a small unit that got this mission without knowing what's going on around. There is a Arafel Krav, they call it, a fog of war. The city is being bombarded. So the tension is high, and the soldiers asking questions, they want to know. And in between you hear another bomb exploding not far from you. The civilians are running around to find shelter. It's like a scene from a movie. In the middle of all this, here comes my father. And I said, Dad, what are you doing here? And he said, they told me you are dead, but you are not, so I'm going home. It was dramatic. It was really dramatic. And 5 minutes later, right after we left, we started moving. And our mission was to go through part of Jerusalem that's called Abu Tor, go down to the Silwan village, through Silwan village, Yad of Shalom Tomb, Gethsemane, the bridge over the Kidron River, into the Dance Gate. In this kind of situation, you cannot really think about anything else but your mission. So you concentrate on navigating, make sure your soldiers are on alert, make sure that the convoy is not missing anybody, and to be alert if you face enemy. Fortunately enough, there was no enemy in this port. And once you enter the city, the old city, through the Dance Gate, and your mission is completed, we don't really know what to do, except meet the paratroopers that came from the other side, all by the Western Wall, and the chief rabbi of the Israeli army, with the shofar and a Torah, blowing the shofar up. Crazy. The Wailing Wall was not as it is today. It was all built houses and buildings until about few meters from the wall. They were all destroyed later on and opened this part of the wall as it is today. So you have to really know to look for where the wall is. You are so high that it's kind of hard to remember what exactly went through your head. All I remember that this photographer came and said, I want to take a picture of you guys. Please get together. He took a shot. And a few weeks later, I found it in a cover story of a British magazine, a French magazine, I don't remember. Very exciting moment. It was a feeling like you are part of making history. And that really was.
אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה, כי אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
אני ואתה ואתה ננסה מההתחלה. יהיה לנו רע, אין דבר, זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם, לפניי, זה לא משנה. כי אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה, אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם, לפניי, זה לא משנה. כי אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to introduce our next performer, Josh Nelson.
Yep. And I wonder if people know that one of my first Jewish gigs was actually singing backups on tour with the Josh Nelson Project.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah Aronson was on keys in those days. What? Can you believe that?
Well, I know that.
I know you do, but still.
I mean, it is hard to beat that lineup, but what everyone is about to see is going to be really, really cool.
Really cool.
It's a little hard to sum up Josh's incredible career, but I'll try to offer a few small highlights.
All right.
Representing the East Coast,
Yes.
Brooklyn-based Josh Nelson was recently hailed by Time magazine as a star of the new Jewish music. He is one of the most popular performers and composers in modern Jewish music around the globe, being fluent on as many as 13 different instruments and equally versed in rock, jazz, and world music. In addition to his popularity as an artist, Josh is also known for his work as the music director for the URJ Biennial, faculty for the Havana Shira Music Institute, and artist in residence for the JCC Maccabi Arts Fest.
Wow.
He is a member of the URJ Faculty of Expert Practitioners, the recipient of a Present Tense NYC Fellowship, and an active member of the Schusterman ROI community, who is sponsoring tonight's event. Josh has led high holiday services at New York's historic 92nd Street Y and is the founder and creative director of The Warehouse, an alternative Shabbat experience. That's just a bit of what he does and has done.
Just a little bit.
We are overjoyed to have him join our virtual stage. So without any further ado, and I've always wanted to say this.
All right, here we go. Live from New York, it's Josh Nelson.
katama yifrach, Sadiq katama yifrach, yifrach, Sadiq katama yifrach. Ke'erez balvanon yizke, 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 ke'erez balvanon yizke.
All right. My name is Josh Nelson. Thanks so much for being here today. We have people with us from all across this country and all around the world, and it is an extraordinary honor to be with you. We're coming to you here live from Manhattan, and I'm joined at Euphoria Studios by some amazing musicians that you'll meet a little later. The piece we just heard was Sadiq Katama. Today is about us exploring traditional Israeli folk tunes in new ways, playing them in non-traditional forms, and letting them be sort of jumping off points for improvisation. So it's kind of a new way to hear them, but we hope that your familiarity with them will help you be inside this music in a powerful way. We want to say thank you to everybody who's checking in on the live stream. We're going to say hi to them right now. So if you've got questions, things you want to talk about, things you want to know, text them in to us. We're going to check in with everybody on the chat right now. So send us some notes, some shout outs to Rachel, Sarah, David. There's lots of unusual Jewish names on here. Some questions. When was the first time you ever visited Israel? I was 15 years old. I went on a trip with the United Synagogue, and we spent the first 2 weeks in Poland visiting camps. And at the age of 16, that was powerful and challenging and really eye-opening. But then to make that trip from there to Eretz Israel for the first time was incredibly powerful. Really, like, I don't know how to explain it. We landed, and particularly after having the experience that we had just gone through, it was extraordinary to step out onto the ground and to feel connected to a place and to history and to the beautiful parts of this land. And there are so many. It was very meaningful and powerful for me. So if you're out there and you've never had the opportunity to visit, it really could move you in a powerful way. And I suggest it. The next tune we want to offer is another older Israeli tune written by Naomi Shemer. It's called Al Kol Eile. And it speaks to both the joy and the pain of this life, and that one cannot exist without the other. The only way you can feel joy is to have experienced challenging times. It's the only way you can know what joy is and understand your capacity for joy. Al Kol Eile.
על הדבש ועל העוקץ, על המר והמתוק, על ביתנו התינוקת, שמו אלי הטוב, על האש המבוערת, על המים הזכים, על האיש ששב הביתה מן המרחקים, על כל על
think I learned that tune when I was probably, 6 years old. I learned it a little differently. It was a little more gentle. It's so amazing to me to experience that tune in that way. I know it so differently from my childhood. And it just shows that this music is powerful and is strong throughout the decades since it arrived. Let's check in with the chat. Say hi to some folks. We've got some local shout outs here. We've got Los Angeles, Boston, Miami, Chicago, Toronto. It's so nice to feel connected in this way. We can't really be together right now, but somehow, at this moment, we really are. So wherever you are, I urge you, sing. Feel connected to these tunes. They're sort of in our historical blood in some ways, and we have grown up on them. And don't feel funny. Just let yourself sing. Find your voice. There's an amazing thing that happens when we feel music together, even if we're not in the same space. I want to introduce to you 3 extraordinary musicians hanging out with us today, really uplifting us all over the world. On the keys, the amazing Scott Chaslin. On the bass, General Good Vibes, this is Justin Goldner. And on witty comments, articulate observations, and generally giant pocket, this is Clint DeGannon. It's lovely to play. It's just lovely to play. This is one of the first times we've been able to play music in a long time, and I love that it's connected to this day. It feels powerful and significant. We have one more song for you. I'd like to give a big thanks to Hadar and Sheldon, to Chava Morel, and to all of you for being present today to celebrate this land that lifts us all up. O tireh kama tov yihiyeh, bashana bashana haba'ah. We will see in the year to come just how beautiful things can be.
נשב המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות, ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. ענבים אדומים יבשילו עד הערב ויושו צוננים לשולחן, ורוחות רדומים ייסעו אליהם בדרך עיתונים ישנים וענן. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. נשב המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות, ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה.
Toda Rabah, Scott Chaslin, Justin Goldner, Clint again, and my name is Josh Nelson. Thank you so much. Take care. Be safe.
Thank you so much, Josh. That was amazing. Please continue to send Josh more love through this chat feature.
Yeah, thank you, Josh and band. That was fantastic. It was 1995 when I was in 8th grade when one of the biggest demonstrations for peace was held in the center of Tel Aviv. My parents wanted me and my sister to join them at the demonstration, but instead I went to a friend's birthday party, as you do in 8th grade. And a few hours into the party, everyone's cell phones began buzzing with texts and messages and letting us know that Yitzhak Rabin had been shot at the demonstration. Now, nobody knew if this was a terrorist attack or a bombing or anything else, but all I knew was that my parents were there and I could not get a hold of them because all the phone lines were jammed. So I ran home on foot, found my sister, and we turned on the TV and radio to find out what was going on. But there was nothing. And we still couldn't get a hold of my parents. And then suddenly my dad came walking through the door. And I said to him, Abba, there was an attack. Rabin was attacked. And where's Mom? And my dad, who was just in disbelief, said, what are you talking about? We were just there. What? And then he said, Mom had decided to walk home with a friend because she was so inspired and didn't want the night to end. And slowly, the TV and the radio began, picking up the story that Rabin had been shot. And the next thing I remember, my mom's walking in through the door and she's covered in all these kind of, peace stickers and slogans, like all over her clothes, and just glowing from the evening. And we had to tell her, Rabin had been shot, and she literally fell to the ground. And I ran to her and I sat with her as tears started coming down her face. And then the four of us sat in front of the TV all night, and it was the first time I'd ever seen my dad cry. And we all knew it was the end, We didn't exactly know the end of what, but we knew that everything, was going to change, and it did. In a moment, we're going to share a very special performance of Shir LaShalom, a song of peace, which Yitzhak Rabin sang at the demonstration the night he was killed. This gorgeous arrangement features 6 wonderful cantors representing 3 movements of Judaism. And I want to extend a special thank you to my friends, Cantor Mo Glasman from Temple Emmanuel of New York City and Laurie Akers from Congregation Ol Shalom in Chicago for producing this beautiful work. As we listen, let ourselves recommit ourselves to the dream of peace and to the fight for equality, for human rights, social justice, health and safety to all in Israel and around the world.
This is Shir LaShalom, performed by One Voice and Shul Sisters.
Urging us to realize we
eternal love. לכן רק שירו שיר השלום, אבדיל לך שוט תפילה. לכן רק שירו שיר לשלום, בצעק הגדולה. תנו לשמש לחדום, בבעל הפרחים. אל תביטו לאחור, הניחו להולכים.
צאו עיניים בתקווה,
לא דרך הבנות. שירו שיר אהבה, ולא למלחמות. אל תגידו יום יבוא, הביאו את היום, כי לא חלום ורוד לכל הכיכרות, הריעו אל השלום. לכן רק שירו שיר שלום, אל תכחשו תפילה. לכן רק שירו שיר השלום, בצעק הגדולה. לכן רק שירו שיר השלום,
אל תלחשו תפילה.
לכן רק שירו שיר השלום, בצעק הגדולה.
היי לולו. איזה מקום את הכי אוהבת בארץ, בארץ ישראל?
החרמון, והייתי בו בתוך הבטן של
Our
Favorite place in Israel is overlooking Haifa Bay as we received our 30th wedding anniversary blessing from Rabbi Amy Perlin of Temple B'nai Shalom in Fairfax, Virginia. Shalom.
My favorite place in Israel is En Gedi.
My favorite place in Israel is Safad, the artist colony.
Your favorite place is?
Tel Aviv, the Tank Museum.
The Tank Museum in Tel Aviv. And I actually like Safad. That's always my favorite place to go.
My favorite place in Israel is Nazareth.
My favorite place in Israel is the old city of Jerusalem.
My favorite place in Israel is Tel Aviv.
My favorite place is the drive from Jerusalem down to the Dead Sea.
And I love walking around Jerusalem.
My favorite place in Israel is Eilat.
My favorite place in Israel is Tel Aviv.
My favorite place in Israel is the Kotel.
The old city of Jerusalem is my favorite place.
I have to say Jerusalem #1, but Eilat is certainly a close second because to be down by the beaches there is really spectacular.
And I have to offer two. One is the city of Cologne because we've been twinning. We've formed a relationship with a school in Cologne, and it's been just wonderful to watch our kids get to know their kids and to really share it that way.
היי נבו, איפה אתה הכי אוהב להיות בארץ? במגדל.
My favorite place in Israel is Haifa.
But I also have to offer a neighborhood in Jerusalem, Yamin Moshe. It's one of the oldest neighborhoods, one of the first neighborhoods built outside of the old city of Jerusalem. And it faces the walls, and we used to go there at the end of Shabbat, and Shabbat afternoon, and watch as the sun went down, as the walls of the old city would transform from tan to a golden, and then as the sun went down and it got darker, the sky would get darker and the lights would come on. It was just beautiful, just a wonderful way to mark that time of the week.
Shalom from Temple Anshe Shalom. I'm Rabbi Jordan Cohen.
And I'm Cantor Paula Baruch.
And we are so pleased to celebrate Israel's 73rd birthday with all of you. Yom Ha'atzmaut Sameach.
How awesome was that?
Amazing.
If you have a favorite place that wasn't mentioned, please add it to the chat. I saw the beach was a popular answer.
Obviously.
That's close, but the correct answer, once again, Abu Hassan, my hummus place.
Of course, Abu Hassan, also known as Sheldon's hummus place.
Right. I'm asking them to put it on the awning for me.
Pretty much.
Thank you so much to our cantors for sharing your stunning voices in the celebration. That was amazing.
Yes, thank you guys.
We have one more song to share with everyone.
No, it's so sad. I hate when it ends.
I know. Well,
okay, but this last song is literally the perfect song for this moment. I literally could not have picked a more perfect song. Literally. How many times are we going to say literally?
You've been mentioning that for a few weeks to me now. So if it's okay, before that, we just want to say today's celebration would literally not have been possible without some very special people.
Right.
Before we say goodbye, we want to say an enormous thanks to our sponsors. A big thank you to Joanna and Leif D. Rosenblatt, to the ROI community, to the Steinberg Family Foundation, and Stuart Bombell.
To the Israeli consulate, to our amazing headliners, Chava Morel and Josh Nelson, and all the musicians who appeared here today, to cantors Mo Glasman, Rachel Brook, Rachel Goldman, Danny Mendelson, Chaim David, Lori Akers, and cantorial student David Fair. Thank you so much for adding such beauty to this celebration. And thank you to my dad, Avner Urshalemi, for sharing his incredible story. I love you.
To Bud Mishkin for being with us and moderating the VIP meet and greet. That's huge. To Shimon Smith and all of our Jewish music colleagues. To Rabbi Erez Sherman, Rabbi Daryl Crystal, Rabbi David Gelfand, Rabbi Melissa Beyer-Whitman, Rabbi Jim Stoloff, Joe Eglash, Harold Geller, thank you for your wisdom and guidance. To Les Rothschild and the Canadian Zionist Federation for helping us include all of our Canadian communities.
To Liza Lieberman from Mazon for their nearly 4 decades of incredible work in the fight against hunger.
To our amazing production team,
yes.
Rebecca Drasnin and Brian Arminio in particular from Advanced Concepts. Everything you saw today is thanks to them. If you need help with your digital programming, seriously, look no further.
You know where to look. And finally, thank you to all of our sponsoring communities. Today's program is a result of 6 months of hard work. We simply could not have done it without the support of these wonderful communities. If you enjoyed today's program, please take a moment and thank the people who are responsible for making it available to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, there's still time to donate to Mazon.
Yes.
So if you haven't yet, please use the links below and make a contribution. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your day with us, for celebrating Israel with us, for repairing the world with us, and for helping to create this really incredible experience. We hope you had fun.
We're so grateful for you. And we hope to see you next year. Please join us in our closing song. This is Amen.
בתפילה האמן שעולה האמן כל הנשמה תהלליה האמן
ותן ברכת שלום ושמור על ביתנו קרב אותנו לחלום שבתוכנו תתמיד ברכה במעשה ידינו תח ליבנו שתמיד נשיר לך
אלוהי אמן תקוותיי אמן הטוב אותנו באהבה אמן תן לנו חיים ושמור עלינו תן שתתגשם אהבתנו תן לנו ברכה האר פנינו פתח ליבנו שתמיד נשיר לך. לעולם אמן, לכולם אמן. חזק את רוח האדם, אמן. תן לנו חיים ושמור עלינו,
ושמור עלינו.
תן שתתקשר אהבתנו. תן לנו ברכה,
האר פנינו,
האר פנינו, נח ליבנו שתמיד נשיר לך. בתפילה אמן, לשלום אמן. כל הנשמה תהלליה תודה רבה, everyone.
Thank you so much.
See you soon. Bye. בתפילה אמן, שעולה אמן. כל הנשמה תהלליה אמן.
ותן ברכת שלום ושמור על ביתנו, קרב אותנו לחלום שבתוכנו. תן תמיד ברכה במעשה ידינו, פתח ליבנו שתמיד נשיר לך. אלוהי
אמן. תקוותיי אמן, אמן. עטוף אותנו באהבה אמן.
תן לנו חיים,
תן לנו חיים
ושמור עלינו,
ושמור עלינו. תן שתתגשם אהבתנו.
תן לנו ברכה,
תן לנו ברכה,
האר פנינו,
האר פנינו. פתח ליבנו שתמיד נשיר לך. לעולם